The Chargers got an absolute steal in Oronde Gadsden on day 3. He's been an important factor in their passing offense and is really just scratching the surface as to what he can be for the Chargers in the long term. Now, coming out in the draft, right, Oronde Gadsden was 6'4" and 5'8", 243, so maybe a little lighter than what you'd want to see from the traditional tight end that line's in line, right, especially in the day and age where they want, these inline tight ends to take on defensive ends and do all of that, right, in your run game. But the production has always been there, right? He has a career yards per route run in college over 2. For reference, that's higher than guys who went ahead of him like Tyler Warren, Terrence Ferguson, Mason Taylor, and is really pretty in line with Colston Loveland, what he did at Michigan. And he has 2.25 yards per route run now per PFF, 2.5 per Next Gen Stats. The last day 3 rookie to post over 1.25 yards per route run in a season at tight end was George Kittle. So 14 yards per reception, plus 15.6% catch rate over expectation. Oronde Gadsden has been excellent. So let's dive into the film and take a look at what makes Gadsden so impressive and what he can work on to reach his ceiling. All right, guys, here we go into the film. I'm taking a look at Oronde Gadsden, and I think one of the things you see with how Oronde Gadsden's getting the ball is they come out in some of these heavier formations, right? Here, 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight end, and he's aligned as a true inline tight end, right? And that gives you the sense of at least the threat of the run, and so the Denver Broncos have to respect that. And because of that, you get some of these free releases on a crosser, stair-stepping a little bit to push vertically, but a really nice job at the catch point, good extension, and can survive through contact. Same thing here, 2 tight ends to the boundary, 2 receivers to the field, still presenting a potential picture of handing this off, and good work stemming to the outside, good job working through that contact there with a little hand swipe, and then sits down against zone. So really, really good from Gadsden there. Same thing here, another heavy formation where you could, conceivably call this 13 personnel. You could call it 1 running back, 3 tight ends, or you could call it 22, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. Either way, heavy formation. Dolphins must respect the run game, and what's going to happen is go route, sail route, flat route, run the flood here. Gadsden does enough, get through contact, and he's got just a wide open window on a sail route. Make it really easy. Here, chip and release, right? Another easy way to get the tight ends the ball and still make defenses respect, that you have to occupy, the short area, because otherwise you're going to get, these free 10, 12-yard receptions like Gadsden gets there, who is also pretty proactive and pretty impressive after the catch. And here, another one where it's maybe not as heavy a formation, but still has the threat of the run under center. A little bit of a fake here from Gadsden to get the defensive lineman to put his hands out initially, because he thinks he's going to block him, and then you get the free release out of it, right? Into a deep crosser again. Easy pitch and catch for Herbert on the rollout. Like, some of that is again, great design and having an athlete like Gadsden who can help create these big plays for you. Here, same thing, giving the impression that we're blocking, right? Little stem at him and then work up the seam. Really good job going low for the throw. Like, that's the other thing, the catch radius, him being able to make plays, down low, up high, elevate for the football, all of that is really good. Now here, this is where they, more drop back passing, right? This is a 2-minute drill against the Broncos to go down and win the game. They go to him 2 times in a row here. Quick slant, breaks that off as soon as he clears the defender, catch through contact, right? Using that big frame to make those tough catches. Same thing here, again, free release. Really good flexibility, right? Sells this outbreaker, really well to come back to the return route. Has a window. Really good, again, with the catch radius. Really impressive here because throws a little behind him. Easy, has the size and to go make a play. He has the arm length, all of that to create that catch radius. And then, surviving a hit over the middle of the field because he has the frame to do so. Now, he also, can be split out wide. That's not something the Chargers are afraid to do with him because he did it at Syracuse, right? Again, showing off the flexibility, the quicks, another one where it's just, you run those whip routes, it's tough to cover, even as a guy who's that big. And again, they get him the ball and stuff, quick stuff, outbreakers because he's fluid and flexible. Here, it's tougher to see this one against the Giants, but again, it's an ISO route. Like he is essentially the boundary receiver on this one, and he's able to make that look easy. right? Even though it was hard to see. But again, here is the number 3 in the passing concept, little jab step at the top, work through contact, really nice work at the top of the route to create separation if Herbert wanted to go to him on this corner route. Like, that is really impressive. And then here, he took it to Josh Metellus all game against the Vikings, stem to the outside, jab step at the top, and then an easy pitch and catch for the touchdown, right? Like, it really is sometimes as simple as just stemming at the defender, plant your foot in the ground, clear some contact with the hands like you saw there, and it's a touchdown. And again, they work him into this chip stuff, chip law to help out, and I love the attention to detail here after he helps, right? Watch the head. Peeks to the outside to sell the flat route, gear down quickly, come back, and you have room on this little angle route here. Really, really nice. Herbert could have gone to him if you wanted to. And here, just create space for yourself. Don't be afraid to commit OPI. They really don't call it. It is really that simple sometimes. Use that frame, use that big body, right, as a mismatch for you against DBs to create space, right? Didn't even bother calling it. They didn't even think twice. So you see a lot of that. And then, you saw this in the intro, this go route, just because I wanted to see it because it's tougher to see here. But the seam route, the Colts are trying to trap with cover 2 here, essentially, right? Corner gets eyes on this outbreaking route, so they're trying to trap Herbert into the throw. Herbert sees it, throws the go, extension, right? Biggest thing. And yes, he could have just run underneath the football here, but the extension plus turning and shielding away from contact is really advanced stuff, right? Don't let the defender, have any chance to make a play on the football. Really, really love that. And again, you get seam routes like this where they do a great job against this kind of invert Tampa, non-traditional Tampa here. You can see both safeties dropping down, corners are dropping into the deep spots, and then you have your kind of Tampa runner. He's late to it. The corner's late to come back down, and you get an easy win on a seam route. And don't forget about the speed that Gadsden has either, right? Safety's going to drop into kind of the robber window here, right, to roam the middle of the field. And obviously this is a touchdown to McConkey, but you watch Gadsden stack Metellus super easily here as he kind of gets to that second gear. Could have been a touchdown for him if Herbert wanted that throw, but the McConkey one, obviously less resistance with no safety there. So you get some of that for sure. Again, out and ups, create big plays is really good because he peeks to the out route, right? Because he turns the helmet, right? Because he turns his head, defender's going to clamp down on it. And that's how you win these out and up routes. And he eventually does right here. And more off a little bit of a pick. But again, when he turns that head, the defender's ready to clamp down on it. Holding call, right? That's nice job drawing that. And then creates after the catch, right? He's still sudden. He can open up as a long strider, right? And create these big plays. And the same goes for this one, right? Again, another heavier formation, right? With Matlock in there, creates the illusion of running. Gadsden gets by the linebacker, and nobody's home. Really nice sudden move there, right, after the catch that he can make, right, to make people miss. So he has a lot of that, right? And then settling in zone, really nice work from him here, right? You start to see the QB scramble a little bit. So your first instinct is to start moving his direction. But I do like that Gadsden sits down, right, in this kind of, square of space. And it's an easy touchdown there. Same thing here where it's really nice where he sees open space. So he's immediately looking back to the QB to make sure, like, okay, is the ball coming because Herbert sees the space? No. Okay, fine. Can I work back and start helping during the scramble drill? No, Herbert makes an insane throw. That's fine. But then this scramble drill is another good one where as soon as he gets, again, another open space, he's looking back to the QB and reacts maybe a little later, but is in good position, attack the low throw, right, and make those catches look easy. Now, as a tight end, what do you want to see? You want to see him be viable as a run blocker, right? You see him aligning as an inline tight end. Can we do it? It's a bit of a mixed bag right now, right? And I think it's not for a lack of effort. He is giving that effort. He wants to be a part of that. It's just the technique, right? losing some ground against Bradley Chubb, right? Tossed aside a little bit. Like that's not the worst because he was surviving there for a second, but again, not the easiest assignments for him right now as a rookie. Here to the second level, don't want to dip your head. You don't want this to be like a true collision. Because you get into scenarios like this against more experienced defenders where they kind of swat you away. I do like the resilience though to get back to it and really get to that block. Now here again, this is stuff that's going to come with time, I think, where this is more about the athleticism, right? And being springy and trying to cut this defender off. He's just a little late, and the defender makes a play. Here against Latu, not fair, really difficult assignment for a rookie, and he gets pushed back. And you definitely have seen plenty of that. And here, again, on the front side of a run play, gives up some ground, which isn't ideal, and the defender frees himself up to make the tackle. So you want to see better sustainment on a lot of that. Now, there are positive reps. Like this one's pretty good. You see some hand fighting, working to establish position here on the inside of his shoulder. So I think that's pretty solid against Denver here. And again, you're not going to hang on for the entire amount of time, but I like that there was some sustainment in that block. Here, it's pretty simple, right? If you're going to give up ground on a play like this, it's okay to just get position here and kind of turn him outside. That's totally fine on a play like this. That we can work with that for sure. And then here, again, yes, he doesn't have inside position. Yes, he's losing the rep a little bit, but he's hanging on, right? And he doesn't completely continue to give up space, and he's trying, and he's giving that effort to fight through a lot of those. So Oronde Gadsden has definitely provided a spark for this Chargers passing offense, which is really, really exciting. Some of the formations to kind of use him as a true inline player are giving them good matchups, right? And he can take advantage of those matchups. He's faster, quicker than the linebackers. He's bigger than the safeties, right? And sometimes even faster than the safeties. So he has all those traits to succeed as a receiver. Now it's just, can he become a complete player as an inline tight end? If he does, he will raise that ceiling even more. And it's been really exciting to watch him so far. So if you guys enjoyed this one on Oronde Gadsden, if you did, throw a like down there. Subscribe if you're new. Plenty more film room content on the way very, very soon. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Farewell.